Okay, so hi everybody. I am Shawn Shackelton and I am here with Kari Kling, and we are really excited about this because I know Kari can help so many people right now. So Kari, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself? You are an educator and a mom. We are both moms of twins,
Hmm.
totally different ends of the spectrum in the age group right now.
Hey,
I know. I look to these
that's right.
the
Well,
moms
thank
that
you.
have older twins, and I go, oh my God, it does get easier.
It gets easier. I'll every 6 months, 3 months, I'll give you the updates. Um,
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me, Shawn. My name is Kari Kling. And first of all, welcome to Kling Central. I was sharing with Shawn, when I put my laundry room and my office together years ago, I had no idea I would ever be recording from here. But this is real life, and here we go. So thank you so much. Once again, my name is Kari Kling, and for the past 30 plus years, I've been an educator, a counselor, a parent coach, a speaker, and an author, all based on how our brains learn. And I'm also the mom, as Shawn said, of 18-and-a-half-year-old twin boys who are just starting college. So it's a whole new chapter in our lives. One of them has moved away into the dorm. The other one is here doing online school right now. And it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
I
Strange,
know.
but very exciting.
I know. It's just we're just in crazy times. And so the reason that I really wanted to talk to you is because I talk to so many people, and a lot of my clients and friends and things like that, they're just all struggling right now with what's going on with school and maybe some of their kids' behavior and how do
Mhm.
they handle it right? How do they prepare their kids or help their kids understand? And you just have so much knowledge behind this that I thought it would be such a great thing to share. And you've also created something to really help parents. So first,
Yes.
to talk about kind of like what is your background? You are an international educator, and one of the things that I love is that you really focus on like how the brain not only how we learn, but also that the education and learning combined, because it's really kind of two different things from you, from
Exactly.
your
And
standpoint. Yeah.
once again, thank you for the opportunity to share my passion with other families because the struggle is real. I don't have to tell anybody that 2020 has been a real doozy of a year so far for all of us. And nobody likes this. I mean, nobody liked being shut down. Nobody asked for this. And, things are better than they were in March, but we're still struggling. The struggle is real, and I get it. And parents are trying to, some people call it homeschool. It's not really home. I don't like to call it homeschooling, and I'll share with you why. To me, homeschooling is a choice. It's a conscious choice that says, this is what I choose to do. I have the time. I want to do this. I have the resources. But this has kind of been pushed on some people where, people are trying to work from home, work out of the home. People have lost jobs. The struggle is real. And I know that I have the tools with my 30 plus years to help. And so, in terms of my background, I was a classroom teacher for 14 years. I started in a long time ago learning about how the brain works. I became what some people called a brain junkie. I couldn't get enough of it. And it used to be up until about 30 years ago, and we know more and more and more. We know more today than we ever have known in the history of mankind, humankind, because of technology, where it used to be that if a person had an injury to the brain or an illness and they could no longer do XYZ, the doctors could say, well, this is the part of the brain that controls this because we know blah blah blah. But now we can take any person and hook them up to different kinds of technology depending on what we're looking for, and have them do tasks in real time and see what's going on. And so the gift of that is, how do we take that to help our families and to show parents, especially during this time, how do we help our kids be the best they can be, academically, behaviorally, socially? As I mentioned earlier when we were talking, our kids' social needs are not being met right
Mm-mm.
now.
No.
And enhancing family dynamics, because we're all on top of each other a lot,
But
and how do you do
yeah,
with that?
it's
And
just so
so
stressful.
it's so stressful, and I know how to help families create that path for success for their children, so it doesn't have to be. And sometimes it's not, people hear, oh, brain research, that sounds heavy. It isn't, because I know how to explain it to people, and I can share with you some really just quick things about things you can do at the dinner table. Sometimes it's how you rephrase a question. Sometimes it's how you ask your child to do certain things. And it's so powerful. And what I've done is created a place for parents to go. And I even have a grandparent that's going to be, actually, there's possibly two, who are the primary caretakers right now for their children at home. And they're helping them with their education because the parents are trying to work.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So you tell me, do you want me to share my top 3 tips, or do you want me to share more about the group?
Yeah,
what would you like me to
what are your
share
top
with people?
3 tips right now?
Oh, I just lost your audio.
Uh-oh.
I can't hear you.
Okay, you go. Top 3.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can.
You can hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't hear you, but I see you doing the 3, so I'll give you my top 3 tips. My top 3 tips. Parents have been asking me, and let me just share that. Well, parents have been asking me, how do I help my child? How do I keep this going? You know, they're sitting in front of a computer all day, and I don't even know if I'm doing the right things. And some kids, you know, have 3 hours worth of work, and the parents are trying to do 8 hours worth of work, and they don't know what to do with the kids for the remainder of the time. And they don't want them sitting in front of a video game, et cetera, et cetera. And so with my 30 plus years of experience, this is about you. How do I help you support your children and your families during these challenging times? And so here are my top 3 tips for those of you who are trying to do virtual learning, homeschooling, whatever you're calling it at home. So drum roll, please. My number 1 tip. Some people might think it's about academics or about what kind of furniture you put in the room so the kids can have a little classroom area. No. My number 1 tip, my friends, is no guilt. I am involved right now with several parenting groups. Some are local, some are international, some are national. And the theme that I hear and see is the same. Parents, mostly the moms, and it's mostly the moms that are in the groups, are saying things like, I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. My house is a mess. I only put workout active wear clothes on, and I don't even go exercise, and I just feel badly. I feel like I'm not doing my job. And I just want to encourage everybody, nobody is doing what they normally do at the level that they normally do it. And so, you know what? Give yourself the gift of grace. Give yourself the gift of it's okay. Because the better you feel about your situation, that's gonna transfer to your family and your kids. So number 1, no guilt. My number 2 tip is, let's try to be as positive as we can. Our children will learn the greatest gifts from what they watch us do, not what we tell them. And so if they see us falling apart because we can't get the things, and again, I know things are a little easier now than they were months ago, but if they see us being frustrated and us lashing out and us saying, well, I can't do this and I need to do this, that's the behavior that they're going to model. And so this is really, even though there are some pretty difficult things that are happening in the way that we're trying to do it, this is a gift in terms of the opportunity to teach life skills for the rest of their lives in terms of resiliency, flexibility, perseverance, problem solving. It's a great opportunity to start new family traditions, even if it's only like a 10-minute thing about everybody shares something about a favorite book at the dinner table on Sunday nights, or someone shares something that they learned. Maybe there's a passion project that the child could be working on, something that they're passionate about, and they share 2 minutes of what they learned from a TED Talk or something. So the greatest gift that we can give our children is the gift of us, the gift of ourselves. And they're watching. So that's my second tip. And the third tip is, you don't have to do this alone. There are so many support systems. I had a phone call from someone this morning from Nebraska. She's trying to homeschool her child, and she doesn't know where to turn in terms of resources and support and help. And there are so many things that parents can do. And so whether you can get support from your school, whether it's a public school, a charter school, a private school, that's one opportunity. some parents I know are getting together with other parents and forming a little pod, and
Mm-hmm.
having their kids work within the pod with certain adults to try to do their schooling. And if you don't know an external resource and you want one, I would like to just invite you to check out what I'm doing. I have created, and it starts on September 8th, an online parent coaching group called VIP, Very Important Parents. We're all very important parents. Um, to help you and guide you to help your child have the most successful learning opportunity during these challenging times. And my hope is that we'll continue once things go back to normal,
Whatever that
and
looks like.
you'll stay with us. But I have I feel like I'm just talking on here, Shawn, because I
Oh,
can't hear
going.
you. Keep going. Okay. Um, each week of the month, I'm going to have 1 hour. And if you can't join live, that's not a problem, because I'm going to record it and I'll send it to the members of the group. And I'm going to have things to help you. It's about your agenda. So week 1 will be what kinds of activities, resources, technology, what is it that you need to enhance what you're doing for your child? It's not going to be just a general thing. I'm going to be finding out from you what you need specifically. And I have 30 plus years of, I always say it's the vault of resources, but the vault is in my head, and lots of file cabinets, and lots of resources. The second week is the one I'm most excited about. I'm going to be hosting a master class, and I have 4 people confirmed for the rest of 2020, world experts, national and international experts in the fields of parenting, education, and learning. And it's all on my website. And I'll give you just a quick rundown. My very first guest is Susan Kovalik, who is my mentor. She was probably one of the first people in the world, back in the early 80s, to start saying, you know what, we have all of this information about how we learn. How do we transfer that to parents and teachers to make it easy for them to apply this with the children in their lives? And she's going to be my first guest. She has retired, so this is a true gift. She's going to come talk to us and talk to us about knowing the difference between your child's potential and capacity, and what that looks like with everything that's been going on, and how to help. And you can ask questions, and it's going to be wonderful. The
Amazing.
second month, I'm going to have Dr. Amy Dirksen, who is a naturopathic physician who works integratively. And my phone is, I'm going to just fix that. Thank you. And it's going to be teaching us about how to boost your child's natural brain power. And you would most likely see her. She works with mostly kids with special needs, but she also works with neurotypical kids. And she's usually on the stage of big conferences with doctors and families about how to help kids. Dr. Kathleen Friend is going to talk to us. She's an integrative psychiatrist and children's book author. And she's going to talk to us about family relationships and embracing and helping parents and children have a wealth of flourishing relationships forever. And then my fourth is a fellow twin mom, I'm sorry, multiple moms. She's got triplets who are also off to college. Amy Carney, she's an author. She wrote a book called Parent on Purpose, and she's nationally known, and just incredible opportunities. The other weeks I'm going to be questions and answers, giving you resources, giving you mini lessons to take directly to your children. There's also going to be a Facebook page 24/7 of the people in our group, so that you don't have to wait till the following week to ask a question. You can share your successes, request different resources, say this is what happened, it didn't work well, or it did work well, and you'll have a support group right there. So it's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And once again, it's going to start on September 8th, and I know that we're going to post all the information from my website. It's going to be noon Mountain Standard Time. Oh, it's right down there in the little, oh, there it is. She's got it. The VIP online coaching.
We'll post it again.
Link. You're so good, Shawn. And I just want to say one more thing about it. And, I'm an educator and a counselor and a mom. I don't like doing the salesy stuff, but I'm going to share with you. I am offering over $600 worth of value during this online coaching group, from the expertise that I'm bringing in, the time, the resources that I have for you, over $600 in value. And I want to make this so doable, because I know some people have had their hours cut back. Some people If you're in the real estate business or whatever business, maybe it's not what it was before. Maybe you've lost your job. And I want to make this as doable as I can. So I'm not charging $600, and I'm not charging $500 or $400 or $100 or $50. The founding membership price, if you join and let me know that you saw it on here, because it's ending at midnight tonight, but if you see this after midnight tonight, I will honor it, is $27 a month for this kind of expertise and support to get you through these challenging times, to help your family be the best they can be.
It's amazing. And I wish you could hear me.
I can't hear you. Do you want to text me, Shawn, and I'll know your question?
It's amazing what you're doing. Why
don't you text me your question, because I don't know what you're saying. I'm
okay.
so sorry.
This is what technical difficulties are like.
Okay. So while she's doing that, if you have, I cannot see the chat, but Shawn can see the chat. If you're out there and you have any specific questions for me, I'm going to put my glasses on so that I can see this. Here we go. What you're doing is amazing. Thank you. I'm so honored to be at the point in my life where I can do this to support parents. It doesn't have to be so difficult. It really doesn't. And, here's the other thing about my VIP group. There are no contracts, my friends. There's nothing, just caring, support, resources, and ways to help you. So if you decide you'd like to try it, and then after a month or two, you say, this isn't for me, I don't think that will happen. I hope not. But you can just say, I'm choosing to leave, and that's fine. There's no long-term obligation. So I wanted to make this as easy as I could for everyone that wanted to get support for their kids. So I'm looking. What age groups? Thank you. This is geared specifically. I've worked with all age groups, preschool through adult. But this particular group is being geared specifically for preschool through 6th grade. And there are lots of ways that I can take the same concept and say, okay, if your kids are, preschool through kindergarten, you can do this. If they're, 1st grade through 3rd grade, do it this way. If they're, 4th grade through 6th grade, do it this way. In fact, would you like me to give you an example of some of the brain research? Okay, I'm going to give you a quick example. One of the things that I always mention when I do this, and I've spoken to groups as small as one. When I was in Kansas one time, I was there for a parent night, and there was a snowstorm, and the only person that was able to get to the school was the person who was there before the snowstorm happened. So one, and groups 1,000. And this is one of the examples that I've done all over the world. And it rings true for people because everybody has experienced it. So here it is. From about 3rd or 4th grade on, depending on where in the world you live, on every math part of a standardized test, you have some problems that deal with angles: right angle, obtuse angle, acute angle. And I know, in fact, one of the women that's going to be in my class is retired, or in the group, and she's retired, but she teaches at a local community college. She teaches arithmetic. They don't even call it math. And it's below the 101. It's for kids that never got the basics in high school. And she said, I have to teach angles because they still don't know it. And so here's the reality. It's not that it wasn't taught, because it's taught in every grade level, but it's taught in a way that's not really compatible for how we learn. And so if we put information in our bodies, that muscle memory, we can take something from a 2 to a 5% chance of remembering it up to a 98 or 99% chance of remembering it. And so here's the example I'm going to give you. Most kids, when they learn an angle, they look at pictures on a worksheet. Circle the right angle, underline the obtuse angle, whatever. And it's done with very little sensory input. But if you can put it in your body, if you will, like this. So I'm going to do this. When I was growing up, that was the peace sign. But I'm going to show you. And if you're out there, do it with me. And Shawn, if you would like to join me, say, look at it. It's so little. Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? And then show you the people in your family. It's an acute angle. It's less than 90 degrees. And you would show them you could show them on a, I just lost my word. The perimeter, I lost my word. I'm going to just keep on going. Yes. I don't know why I'm losing that word. Anyway, so it's an acute angle. And then you can say to your family a little while later, don't do it all right away, and go, right on, right on. Whoop, there we go, right on. Or you could do it this way. My pinky, I broke it, and it doesn't go. So I do it this way, right on. And so a right angle is an angle that's 90 degrees. And so you can have a right on day with your family. When you walk around at dinner, go, hey, I like that, right on, right on. Then you can go, hey, hang loose, obtuse. An obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees. And so when you put it in your body, whoop, there we go, put it in your body like that, and you practice it, I guarantee you they will never forget it. Now, somebody misinterpreted this one time and said, oh, so the paper pencil activity is not important. It's very important because that's how kids will use it in their real lives in terms of, being able to make notations and things like that, and being asked on a test about it. But you want to do the things that have the greatest sensory input first. Then you go to do that. If everybody had a greater idea of how our bodies and our brains learn, because it's you're putting in your body, we wouldn't have those kids that are still in college and saying, I don't even know what the angles are. So that's just one example of a zillion that I can help you with. Really quickly, here's one more. I had a parent contact me not too long ago. Her daughter is going into first grade. And she said, my daughter is getting mixed up with her B's and D's. Does she have dyslexia? And I said, you know what? That is so common. And no, she doesn't. So I taught her in 25 seconds how to make sure, and I'm going to just turn around here so you can see this. Even if they don't know sign language, this is a B in sign language, and this is a D in sign language. And I said, just tell her to make her bed. She said, make her bed. And I said, yes, just do it like this so that the circles are facing each other, and say, make your bed. Ba-da. And they can always see which direction to make their little loop, to make their B and their D's. And so those are just two little tiny examples of how quick and easy it is to take what we know about how the brain learns and put it into a different way, and your child will have it like that. So those are just, I hope that's helpful.
Very.
So, and you're welcome. If you want to send me another question, that would be great. So while you're typing, I'll just also say that, this isn't just about your kids. It's about, as parents, that we can feel the security of knowing I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. And if I don't know something, I have a place to go find out. Okay, here's another question. Love the examples. Thank you. And while you're typing that, I also want to share, I'm going to leave my glasses on because I can't read my phone without it. I usually take them off when I do a Zoom because I have a light, and the light reflects in my glasses. I am offering, along with the founding membership, a complimentary copy of my newly updated ebook called Are We There Yet? Connecting Real Life to Learning, Families, and Memories That Last a Lifetime. And this is, here we go. This is a remake of a real book that I did that I turned into an ebook, and I switched it up a little bit so it was more appropriate for parents and because before it was parents and educators, but I'm doing this strictly for parents. And it has probably 50 different activities and there we go, of things that you can do, even though you might not be taking a trip yet. You can do this if you go in your backyard. You can show kids real learning. You can learn so much just from the environment around you. Sometimes we're teaching about places far away that kids may or may not ever go to, but they don't understand the neighborhood that they live in. They don't understand the state that they live in. And so it's how do you look at these basic skills and concepts and knowledge, and you can teach it in your own backyard if you go, when we can start doing things again. Yeah. Even going to the zoo, going to the park for a picnic, going to grandma's house, anything. Okay, I have another message. So best ways to help your kids in little ways to encourage learning. Yes, thank you. How can we support our kids that are missing their friends? Oh my gosh, isn't that the $1 million question? Oh, let me just finish. So I'm going to give you a copy of this. For anybody that joins as a founding member, I'm going to give you a copy of this complimentary, because I want you to be able to have more tools to help your children. You know, I wish I could say, oh, just do this and your kids won't miss their friends anymore. And I don't know how to do that. But I do know ways to help your children feel connected. And one of the things that I have been recommending is not only Zooming with kids or FaceTiming, whatever they do, which most of you are already doing, but perhaps you can get a small group of kids, and this, the younger they are, the more help they're probably going to need, but doing things for other kids. And what I mean by that is maybe you could take, the 5 friends that your kids are most friendly with, and invite other kids if they want to. But say, what are the kids, who are the kids that maybe need more help than we do right now? Maybe they're kids in a hospital. Maybe they're kids that don't have a home. And individually, the kids could do something like writing cards for those kids that are in a hospital, making them a little stuffed animal toy out of a sock or a little puppet or something, doing something, and then collectively putting those things all together. And if the kids aren't allowed to go and bring them to wherever, maybe the parent can, and then recording that so the kids can see, oh my gosh, I with my friends, I help connect with this person or these people. Because, does it replace the one-on-one? No, it doesn't. But I really believe that it provides that emotional connection that so many people are not feeling right now. And so there are other things that you can do too, but that's an example of how we can have that feeling of connectedness, not only to other friends, but to the world, the bigger world. So
Huge.
Okay, I'm looking to see if you're sending me. I'm so sorry, I still can't hear you.
It's okay. Technical.
For those of you that are out there watching this, thank you for your patience. Technology, right? While Shawn is writing that, if you are interested, I have a Facebook page where I have been posting activities for parents, lesson ideas, all kinds of things that you can do, and it's at karikling.parenting. So if you want to check that out, if you want some resources, some additional resources for your family, once again on Facebook, it's at karikling.parenting. Please like my page, and I'll continue to put more information out there for you. Okay, best ways to create better connections with your family. Yes, oh my goodness. As Shawn and I were talking before, even the best of families, when everybody's normalcy has been kind of thrown off kilter here. The world's a little cray-cray, as I don't have to tell you. And everybody has their own issues. They're trying to do what they need to do for work. They're trying to, live life. And then you don't get that break. Parents of young kids who, maybe some of their kids are back in preschool or whatever now, but it's been 24/7. And so I think the best way to have those connections with families is to communicate. And, for kids, even kindergarten on up, even preschool, have those family conversations, have a family meeting, and say, and the younger the child, the least amount you want, maybe just one thing, and you could do it every few days. What's one thing that you feel so happy about our family right now, and what's going well? And then what's one thing that you wish, you don't want to put it in negative terms like not going well, but what's one thing that you wish you could maybe change a little bit, that you wish it were a little bit different, and then problem solve that and talk about it. So many times with our families, the real issue is not what we think is happening. It's the lack of communication, and then the frustration that builds up. The younger the child, the less words they have to be able to explain how they're feeling. And so the more we can not only talk about it, I just did an interview with Susan Casper on Sonoran Living. And we talked about how to help kids it was conversation starters to help kids through difficult times. And I wrote it was a 10-page ebook. I wrote it like that when the rioting was happening. And I felt so, I don't want to say fearful, because I don't want to put a negative emotion in there, but I felt so concerned that kids were watching so much of this on television and they didn't know how to process it. And all of that gets buried. And so I wrote this complimentary ebook. In fact, if you would like to have a copy, feel free to go to my website at karikling.com. And on the very top, it says, click here to get a copy of my most popular graphic. There's actually a graphic there and the conversation starters there about how do you talk to your kids about things that are difficult to get them to open up. And I have, it's just quick down and dirty. It's not everything you need to know for the rest of your lives. I have 5 examples for preschool, 3 categories: preschool through kindergarten, elementary school, and then middle school and high school. And so check that out, karikling.com, and you can have that copy for free. But sometimes with the younger kids, they don't want to talk about it and they don't know how to talk about it. So drawing a picture, puppetry, having kids act out, even with, if you don't have a puppet, take some old socks and draw some eyeballs on it in a mouth, and have the parent be one puppet and the child be another, and ask questions, because kids, especially younger children, will say things through a puppet or through a drawing that they won't come out and tell you. I promise you that. I promise. That's most kids. So in terms of family connections, it's about communication. Any way that you can get kids to open up, whether it's through an interactive journal, puppets, storytelling, talking, just having a conversation. So It's real. It needs to happen these days.
It's huge.
So anyway, I'm going to check and see if you wrote anything else. I'm so sorry that we can't hear each other. Kids need to feel heard. You are so correct, Shawn. Kids, sometimes kids feel like things are done to them, and that they don't have a voice, whether it's in school, whether it's if they're being bullied a little bit with friends. I know that's probably not as much right now, although I know there's online bullying that goes on. But that's the most important thing, is kids need to feel that they have a voice and that they have input, and that the adults in their world will react to that input, not just, okay, yeah, whatever. But I know that people watching this already know that, because if they're watching this, they're very conscientious about their kids, and they want to try to help them as best as possible. The family dinner table is so valuable. Oh my goodness, Shawn, you are correct. And one of the things that, even during those crazy years when my boys had, sporting events and school events and friends, we made, at least Sunday night dinner was, you needed to be there. That was as sacred as we could make it. And we would have family meetings and we would talk about, okay, here's what's happening in the week, and what do you have going on, and what do you have going on, and what's going well with the family. And as many times a week as you can do that, of course. But I know that, well, it's easier now because kids don't have all of their activities. But it's really crucial to the core of the family, the family unit. It really is. So absolutely, Shawn, you're right. You're right. Okay. Thank you again for your patience, everybody. While Shawn is writing her new message to me, I also want to share, I wasn't planning on doing this, but since we have a little time here in between questions, years ago, one of the books that I wrote is called It's Not About Math, It's About Life. And you need to know that I was the worst math student that ever lived. I didn't like it. I didn't understand it. I didn't know why I needed it. And I have grown to love it and teach families, educators, students, families, tricks and patterns and really fun games that make them love it. And I can look back now through the eyes of brain research, and I know why I didn't understand it, because I was a pretty good student. I kept thinking, why aren't I getting this? And I can tell you that I didn't go to kindergarten. I went to preschool. They called it nursery school back then. And I was already reading. And so they decided to put me directly into first grade because they thought I would be bored. Well, my brain wasn't ready to do the things in second grade, which we call borrowing and carrying, and I didn't get it. And it was just a downhill slide from there. And I remember knowing when I was 5 years old, I want to be a teacher. And I thought, but I don't understand this math, so I'll just have to teach a grade younger than second grade. That was my logic as a second grader. But one of the things that I'll be sharing in the VIP group are lots of games and strategies and things that you can do with your families, no matter what the age. Okay, I don't have many more, so thank you so much. Well, I want to thank you so much, and I want to once again invite anybody who feels that, you know what, I could use a little extra support right now. And even if you feel like, you know what, I've got this virtual learning thing handled, it's really going well for me. It's about support for your family long term, about understanding how our kids function, to help them be the best that they can be in the world, not only today and tomorrow, but for the remainder of their childhoods, which will help them to be the strongest adult that they can be. And once again, I just want to invite you to check out my VIP, Very Important Parents, online parenting group. For $27 a month, no contracts, you will have a wealth of information, over $600 worth of value. It's an investment in your family and in your children. So thank you so much. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions or anything that I can answer for you. And Shawn, thank you once again for the
Of course.
invitation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.